Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Bacon, and welcome to a bit of a weird video. This is going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Raidraptor deck profile. I've wanted to do deck profiles for a while, but I haven't really ever gotten an original deck that I have, I haven't ever gotten an original deck to the point where I felt like I was good enough to make a video like this. This is not an original deck, I will admit. I will put the link to the video. I will put the link to the deck profile that I used for this deck that I have built in the description below. It's a really good deck, really good channel as well. Definitely recommend subscribing to it. Dark Arm Duelist, really freaking good, I gotta admit. But pretty much, I just took that deck and modified it for Master Duel. And it's given me this deck, and I've been using it a decent bit, not too much, so maybe my opinion on it will change, but I think this is a fantastic deck, and I just had to make a deck profile of it. So, well, I'm just gonna get straight on into it. So, we're gonna have obviously Raidraptor Painlenius. This is a really good card just to get a free special summon off. Yes, you will be taking some damage with it, but it's a really good card just for getting a free special summon. Also it is level 1, but it becomes level 4 when you special summon it by its own effect. So it's a free level 4 Raidraptor special summon, which is just really freaking good. 2 copies of Max C. You can play this at 3 copies if you want. I personally think 2 copies is perfectly fine, but this is pretty much a staple in Master Duel because you can send it to the graveyard, and anytime your opponent special summons a monster, you get to draw a card, and it's not limited by any means. So you can run 3 if you want, but I think 2 is perfectly fine because we do have some other cards that are going to allow us to either search or draw. We're going to be playing a copy of Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak and a copy of Silent Boots because both of them can be sent to the graveyard by Rusty. I don't never know how to pronounce that. Bardiche, I think. They can both be sent to the graveyard by that effect to get a search off. And they're just really good. 3 copies of Ash Blossom for the exact same reasons I said for Max C. They're pretty much a staple. They're pretty much a staple in decks in Master Duel decks. So you sort of have to run 3 copies of Ash Blossom and at least 2 copies of Max C in pretty much every deck, honestly, it feels like. They're just really good hand traps to help you stop your opponent from playing the game and also just to help you draw cards. You're going to be playing 3 copies of Raidraptor Vanishing Lanius because this is a really good card. Just if it's normal summoned or special summoned, you get a special summon a level 4 lower Raidraptor monster from your hand, which is really good. You get basically a free special summon just by normal summoning this card, or even special summoning this card. 2 copies of Raidraptor Mimicry Lanius. You will never be using its on-field effect to increase the levels of all Raidraptor monsters you currently control by 1. You are never going to be using that. You're going to be using its graveyard effect to get a search of a Raidraptor card off, which is going to help you out very much. 3 copies of Tribute Lanius because Tribute Lanius can send the card from deck to graveyard. Typically, you're going to be sending your copy of Mimicry Lanius to the graveyard to help you get that search off. It also has an effect that during the main phase 2, if it destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you can add a rank up magic quick play spell from your deck to your hand, but you cannot special summon a monster for the rest of the turn except for Raidraptor monsters. Typically, I'm not using this effect. I'm typically just using it to bring it to the graveyard and a search off. But I will admit this and Vanishing Lanius combo off very, very well together to get you into your copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity very easily. You can get this copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity out just by having Tribute Lanius and Vanishing Lanius in your opening hand incredibly easily. And actually later on in the video when I show you guys some test duels of this, the very first duel you'll see, I drew into a copy on my opening hand of Vanishing Lanius and Tribute Lanius, and I managed to make the play to get Cyber Dragon Infinity out into the field. You'll see how powerful that is. Just by having these 2 cards in your opening hand, you can get Cyber Dragon Infinity. You can also get Rusty Bardiche onto the field just by having these 2 cards in your hand. It is insane, but that's for later. We're playing 1 copy of Singing Lanius just because it's a free special summon as long as you control any Xyz monster. That's just crazy that it's any Xyz monster rather than just a Raidraptor or a Dark Xyz monster. It is any Xyz monster, which is really good. It's also a level 4, which is really I'm speaking weird, but that's also really good. The fact that it's level 4. We're playing 2 copies of Raider's Wing because Raider's Wing is just a very easy card to be able to get pretty much a free special summon off because you can detach a material from the Dark Disease monster you control and special summon this card by banishing when it leaves the field. It also has an additional benefit for Xyz monsters that have this card as material, which is really good because your opponent cannot target those cards or card effects. You can use that when it comes to a few combos. You're not going to be getting Raider's Wing into a crazy big Xyz monster that has this effect. Typically, when you have your Ultimate Falcon, not that it really matters to Ultimate Falcon because Ultimate Falcon's already unaffected by card effects, so it doesn't really matter. But other than that, we're playing 3 copies of Strangleanius because it's a free special summon as long as you have a Dark monster. The only issue with this card is that you cannot special summon a monster for the rest of the turn except for Dark monsters, which wouldn't be that big a deal. It's actually not that big a deal if we have Cyber Dragon Infinity. But if we don't have Cyber Dragon Infinity, then that is a slight issue. Because typically you want to try to get out of Cyber Dragon Infinity as fast as you possibly can, just to get a free negate, a walking negate onto the field. And if you use this, since Cyber Dragon Infinity is a light monster, you're not going to be able to get it out into the field the moment you activate this effect on this turn. So you gotta really know when to use this card. But if you've already gotten Cyber Dragon Infinity out, you can just not spam this effect because it's limited to once per turn. But you can use this effect no matter the cost, so that's perfectly fine. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness because we were playing 99% Dark monsters. The only Dark monsters we're not playing are Maxi, Ash Blossom, and Cyber Dragon Infinity. Everything else is a Dark monster. So Allure of Darkness just to get a free draw is incredible. 1 copy of Rank Up Magic Soul Shave Force. This is a card that is undoubtedly one of the best Rank Up Magic cards in the deck. This is how you're going to be getting your Cyber Dragon Infinity because you pay half your life points and target a Raidraptor or Xyz monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, then special summon from your extra deck 1 Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher than that monster by using it as the Xyz material. It doesn't specify anything about it having to be a Raidraptor Xyz monster or a Dark Xyz monster. Any Xyz monster works. So what you're going to be doing is that you're going to be targeting your 4 Strix in the graveyard to special summon it and then go straight into a Cyber Dragon Infinity. That is how you're going to be using this card, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane. The only downside, yes, is that you pay half your life points, but you're dealing so much damage to yourself in this deck that I don't really think it matters too much. You're playing 1 copy of Skip Force because Skip Force is pretty much Soul Shave Force, but only for Raidraptor monsters. It's basically just that. It's very similar to that. You just get a Raidraptor monster from your extra deck that's 2 ranks higher than the target that you select. Also has this, during your main phase, except the turn this card is set to the graveyard, you can banish this card and 1 Raidraptor monster from your graveyard, then target 1 Raidraptor Xyz monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it allows you to get a special summon of a Raidraptor Xyz monster that got destroyed, which is really good. Overall, you're not going to be playing this too much because you're not going to really need to play it that much, but it's there for the times when you do, in fact, have a chance to play it. Playing 2 copies of Wing Requital, you can definitely play this at a 3, and I originally had it at a 3, but I ended up just keeping it. I ended up just dropping it down to 2 because I rarely saw myself using this card more than once. I am still playing it twice for that moment when I want a second card, and also to increase the chances of me drawing into it. But I used to have it at 3. Really don't necessarily need 3 in my opinion, but it is there in case you can play a 3rd if you want. I personally don't really care. It's just helpful for drawing cards. You do pay 600 life points, but you get to draw 2 cards as long as you have all monsters you control are winged beasts and you control at least 2 different monsters. You get a free 2 cards basically. Raidraptor Nest just to get a search off. If you control 2 or more Raidraptor monsters, you get to add a Raidraptor monster from deck to your hand. As simple as that. It's limited to once per turn. 1 copy of Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Launch. This is a card I actually haven't really used, but the way you would use it is by using it with Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon to go into Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon. Because during your main phase, you get to target a Dark Xyz monster you control with no material, and special summon from your extra deck 1 Dark Xyz monster that's 1 rank higher than that monster you control by using it as the material, and if you do, attach this card to it as additional material. So it's just helpful for getting into a Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon that has Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon as material to get you all these fun effects. 2 copies of Called by the Grave. I do only have 1 because I don't have the second copy, but I would play 2. If you're annoyed by it being a 41 card deck, you can very easily get rid of 1 copy Called by the Grave, or 1 copy of something else in this deck if you want to. But I would play 2 copies of Called by the Grave just because hand traps are king in this game. So you want to try to get as many hand traps away from you as possible. 2 copies of Rank Up Magic Force, because I swear, this card was actually made for Raidraptor decks, because this card is absolutely insane. You banish, during the main phase, you get to banish 1 or more dark monsters from your graveyard, then target a dark Xyz monster you control, and special summon from your extra deck 1 the Phantom Knights, Raidraptor, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster whose rank equals that of the targeted monster you control, plus the number of monsters banished. So, pretty much a way to get into this is going to be, if you have Rank Up Magic Force and a Force Strix on your field, you activate Rank Up Magic Force, banish 6 cards from your graveyard, and that allows you to upgrade Force Strix into Ultimate Falcon, which is really good. And Ultimate Falcon is your big kahuna of the deck. If you get Ultimate Falcon out into the field, chances are you're going to have a very good time, and maybe even win the duel just by getting him out into the field. You're playing 2 copies of Shade Brigand. I honestly don't know how to pronounce that freaking Shade. Brigandine, I think, maybe. You're doing this just because it's very easy to activate this card just to get another monster out into the field, and help you go into either Link plays or Rank 4 Xyz plays. It's just really good for that purpose, which is why I played it too. 1 copy of Raidraptor's Phantom Knight's Claw, because this is a really helpful card just for negating effects. You detach a material from a Dark Xyz monster and negate any monster effect that gets activated, and if you do, destroy the card. Then if the detached material was a Phantom Knight's Raidraptor or Xyz Dragon card, 1 Raidraptor or Xyz monster you control gains attack equal to that destroyed monster's original attack, which is really good. Typically, I actually have not gotten that second effect to work yet, simply because I've always had Ultimate Falcon out into the field as my only Raidraptor monster that's actually there, and it's unaffected by other card effects, so it won't affect it. But it is there just in case you obviously I play this card simply to negate effects, not to get the extra attack. You don't necessarily need the extra attack. It's there just to negate the effects. You're also playing 1 copy of Fogblade just for added protection, basically. You target effect monster on the field, you negate its effects. Face-up monsters cannot attack. That monster cannot attack, and also monsters cannot target that face-up monster for attacks. So it's just helpful for giving yourself a wall that your opponent can't attack into, just to at least stall for some time, in case you need to. I did also play this as 2 at one point, but I brought it back down to 1 because, similarly to Wing Requital, I barely saw myself using more than 1, so in a single duel. So I just kept it as 1. Into the extra deck, you're playing 1 copy of Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, because it all requires is 2 level 4 monsters, and it helps you go straight into your Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon by combining it with Rank Up Magic Launch. And Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, because it's basically a walking negate, just not the most powerful walking negate, but it's really good. It can steal attack, and also, when your opponent's monster activates an effect, detach material, negate the activation, destroy that card, then special summon 1 Xyz monster from your graveyard. And considering the fact we're playing 12 Xyz monsters in this deck, that's a really good effect. 2 copies of Force Strix, because it gains 500 attack and defense for each Winged Beast monster you control, except this card. And it's also a Searcher, because you can detach a material from this card and add a level 4 Dark Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand. And basically everything in here is a level 4 Dark Winged Beast monster. We have 14 Dark Winged Beast monsters in this deck, so you're playing a lot of them. 1 copy of Raider's Knight, because Raider's Knight's going to help you go into your copy of Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Speaking of which, you're playing 1 copy of Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon just because it's easily summoned in this deck. However, as you're going to see in the very first duel, I made a mistake. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't that duel. Never mind. But what you do need to keep in mind is typically, like, it has this effect. You can detach 1 material from this card. This card gains attack equal to the total original attack of all other monsters in the field. Then, if this card has a Dark Xyz monster as material, you negate the effects of all the face-up monsters on the field. After this effect resolves, you cannot declare attacks with other monsters for the rest of this turn. You can only use that effect once per turn. So, the thing about this is, if you do use this effect to detach material and pretty much steal the attack of all other monsters on the field, you have to keep in mind that this is a thing, and negates the effects of all other face-up monsters on the field, which is helpful if this is your only card, but it also affects your monster, so just keep that in mind. If you do use this effect, try to get rid of that Dark Xyz monster as fast as you if there's only 1 Dark Xyz monster as material, make sure you get rid of it, so that it doesn't negate the effects if you want to keep your monster effects. Just keep that in mind when you use this card. We're playing 1 copy of Revolution Falcon because you can detach a material from this card, and it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. And also at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's face-up special summon monster, that monster's attack and defense becomes 0, which is just insane that it becomes 0. And if this card has Raidraptor, Xyz monster as material, against the following effect. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack that monster had in the field, which is just really good because you get to destroy a monster and inflict damage to your opponent just for free. We're playing 1 copy right here of Revolution Falcon Air Raid because you can use this card not only to easily not only to easily Xyz summon it, but also you can just very easily pop a card your opponent controls by Xyz summoning it, and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack it had in the field. And it's also helpful because if it's destroyed by opponent's card set to the graveyard, you get to just special summon Revolution Falcon from your extra deck, which is just really good. That it pretty much just acts as 2 Revolution Falcons, which is really good. You're playing 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity, as I stated before, because this card it gains 200 attack for each material attached to it, and once per turn, you can target 1 face-up attack position monster on the field, attach it to this card's material, so it allows you to just steal your opponent's monsters as Xyz material. Also, once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can just negate it by detaching the material and destroy it, which is just incredible to just have a walk-in negate, which is really, really good. You're playing 1 copy of DDD Duodong King Kali Yuga because this card, not only is it 3500 attack, actually this card is Xyz summoned for the rest of this turn. Other cards and their effects cannot be activated on the field, and other cards' effects on the field are negated. However, also, once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card and destroy all spell and traps on the field. So pretty much it just acts as a Harpy's Feather Duster. And this, you can detach an Xyz material. This part doesn't matter because you're not playing Dark Contract, so that doesn't matter. But pretty much it's just helpful because you negate effects, and it can act as a Harpy's Feather Duster. If you get this card out into the field, chances are you're going to have a really, really good time. We're also playing 1 copy of Raidraptor Satellite Cannon Falcon because, as stated previously with DDD, this card also acts like a Harpy's Feather Duster, but also it's a Harpy's Feather Duster that cannot be negated because your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Also, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 800 attack for each Raidraptor monster in your graveyard, which is going to be a lot. You're going to be having a lot of Raidraptor monsters in your graveyard, so this is a really good card for that. I'm typically not summoning this because I don't really have a need to, but it is there in case you want to get that free Harpy's Feather Duster off. We're also playing 1 copy of Ultimate Falcon because Ultimate Falcon, I mean, it's just Ultimate Falcon. It's unaffected by other card effects. You can detach a material from this card for the rest of the turn. All monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. If this card has a Raidraptor monster as a material, it gains the effect of once per turn during the end phase, you can make all monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack. Also, if your opponent controls no face-up monsters, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. So it's just free damage, and it's also just free your opponent's monsters lose 1000 attack, which is just incredible. You're playing 2 copies of Wise Strix because this is a really good card for comboing off with Force Strix to get a free rank up magic spell, but also has the effect where when it's link summon, you get to special summon a level 4 Dark Wing Beast monster from your deck in defense position, but its effects are negated and it cannot be used as linked material. So that's something to keep in mind. It can't be used as linked material, so you can't then use this to go into a Link 3 monster because it cannot be used as a link material. But it's a really good 2-up in this deck because it's incredibly helpful just for not only special summoning a monster, but also getting a rank up magic spell from your deck to your hand. Or sorry, getting a rank up magic spell from your deck to the field. You're also playing 1 copy of Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche because you have to send Phantom Knights monsters to your graveyard, then set Phantom Knight spell or traps, which we're playing a decent bit of those in this deck, which is incredible because it just helps you do everything that you need to do. It helps you pretty much search out all the cards you need. And also, if a Dark Xyz monster is special summon to a zone this card points to while this monster is on the field, you can target 1 card in the field and destroy it, which is just incredible. And this card also cannot be used as link material, so just keep that one in mind. But that's it for the deck. We're going to be going into some test duels for you guys on online, so we'll get right on into that. And hopping on into the very first duel, This went incredibly well for me until his first turn came along. I went first in this deck, and you're about to see. So right off the bat, we start off with a Vanishing Lanius and a Tribute Lanius, and that's already really good. You're about to see exactly what we can do. So we get Vanishing Lanius, special summon out Tribute Lanius, send our copy of Mimicry Lanius to the graveyard to get a search off. It didn't really matter what we got, so I got Raidraptor Nest. I will say one thing real quick here is this will only work if you have Pain Lanius in your hand. But when you banish Mimicry Lanius, if you don't have Pain Lanius in your hand, get Pain Lanius. However, since I already have Pain Lanius, I didn't do that. So just want to say that real quick. You do that, and I managed to get a few things off. I'm doing Pain Lanius, deal 400 damage to myself, and go straight into a link play of Y-Strix to immediately go in for a special summon of Raider's Wing. To go into Force Strix, activate Force Strix effect to automatically get a Soul Shave Force. We're going to do that. They obviously right here activate Numeron Wall, which doesn't really matter, as you're going to see. I'm going to deal with this quite quickly. They get Numeron Network, which is cool. They can't activate it because it's not their turn, but we get the set Soul Shave Force. We go straight into a copy of Rusty Bardiche, and then immediately activate Soul Shave Force to special summon and go straight into a copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity. And just like that, that's fantastic. And we've also special summoned a Dark Xyz monster to a zone that Rusty Bardiche pointed to, so we got to destroy that. And now that we're here, we're pretty much just going for it all. And you're about to see exactly what we can do as well, because not only did I get Cyber Dragon Infinity, as you're about to see, we got Force Strix out. We can also activate Force Strix effect just to get another search off. And then, right off the bat, activate Rank Up Magic Force, go straight into a copy of Ultimate Falcon by banishing 6 cards from our graveyard. And there we go. That is what you can do with this. I immediately end my turn and deal 1,000 damage. This does get dealt with, as you'll see, because I have 3 monsters, so they immediately get Wing Dragon Raw Sphere mode. Luckily, though, that's all they do, so we get to go into even better plays. Again, Vanishing Lanius, straight again into a Tribute Lanius, and we're going to do basically the same thing. Mimicry Lanius, Banish to get out a Singing Lanius just for a free special summon. We go into a Raidraptor Nest to also get Ultimate Falcon back, which is really good. We're going to go Raider's Knight into an Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Just like that, we're going to special summon Stringle Lanius and get a Singing Lanius off, and then get another special summon right there, a Tribute Lanius, and just attack directly for all of this. Me special summoning Singing Lanius right there was a mistake. My opponent doesn't do anything about it, but that is a mistake because of the fact that it only has 100 attack. But as you can see right there, I just did 6,500 damage in one turn, just like that, which is really good. And he's also going to be doing a lot of this. I could have negated that with Phantom Knight's Claw that I had set, but I didn't bother because I was like, he's only special summoning tokens. I don't really care. As long as he doesn't get Raw out into the field, I'm perfectly fine. And this is where everything goes great. I get Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Not that I really needed it. But there we go. I banish Raider's Wing because it doesn't really matter. I go straight into a Rank Up Magic Launch. Rank Up Magic Force. I use Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon to get back Ultimate Falcon. Just because I think Ultimate Falcon is one of the best Xyz cards in this deck. There we go, they lose their attack, and I attack directly. Well, not attack directly, but I attack their monster that's face up. Or attack this monster for the win. That is what this deck can do. It is incredible. And into the next duel, you're going to pretty much see we do the exact same thing. I even win in an extra turn here, and you're going to see. So we draw into a copy of, like, Ash Blossom, Tribute Lanius. We're going first again. I did want to get a going second deck for you guys, but I didn't end up doing that. And actually, right here, as you can see, Tribute Lanius, I just go ahead, I banish that, and I get Shade Brigade, I get a special summon off, I go straight back into the Link summon. Pretty much that's all you can do. As long as you can get both Y-Strix and Force Strix out into the field on your first turn, you can go straight into Cyber Dragon Infinity, assuming you don't use Strangle Lanius' effect. And then, just like that, we're doing the exact same thing that we did in the first duel. This is pretty much how I would do it, every single time. We just pay half our life points, we get a special summon off, we go straight into Cyber Dragon Infinity, and that's pretty much where this ends, but you're going to see that we do a little bit more. We get our Rank Up Magic Force right there. We're going to banish that just to get a copy of Fogblade. Now we use Strangle Lanius' effect to get a special summon off and get a free revival. Go into Force Strix, activate Force Strix just to get ourselves another search, and then go into Skip Force so that we can actually go into our copy of Air Raid, because we actually have dark monsters in our graveyard, so we can actually use rank up Magic Force to go straight into our copy of Ultimate Falcon next turn. However, our opponent doesn't really do much here, and as you're going to see real quick, we go straight into our copy of Ultimate Falcon just by banishing the 4 monsters from our graveyard. There's Ultimate Falcon. We special summon into a zone that Phantom Knights points to. We target his monster, do that, and then we special summon, activate, and then just like that, our opponent ends up just surrendering. So just like that, we actually at that point had enough firepower to attack him directly and win. And even if that trap card was something, we had Cyber Dragon Infinity to negate it, so it didn't really matter. And that field spell was not very good. So that is going to be it for that duel. So there you guys have it. There is the Raidraptor deck profile. A very, very good deck. I will say going first is probably more beneficial. Going second is not necessarily a bad thing, but going first is absolutely, in my opinion at least, more beneficial than going second. But that is going to do it for this video, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you slap the like button and subscribe for more. Hope to see all you guys in the next video. And also, if you like this sort of deck profile thing that this is, leave a comment saying that you want more, because I will definitely bring you guys more, because I do have a lot of decks that I can bring you guys deck profiles for, whether it's Master Duel or not Master Duel. I do have a few, and they're not necessarily very good decks, but they're fun decks in my opinion, so I can bring you guys those if you want. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Goodbye.